we look, you can see families were more than willing to go to the box office to support something like the Minecraft movie, while Rachel Zegler's Snow White continues to plunge.
She's literally the only person there. And do you not understand how humiliating this is? Meanwhile, the experience at Minecraft goes something like this.
This is insane. Chicken
Minecraft in the United States in one weekend made more money than Snow White has made globally after 3 weekends. That's how bad it is right now.
I don't think they're gonna buy it. I don't think they're gonna watch it. I don't think they're gonna like it.
Warner Brothers' Minecraft movie versus Disney's Snow White, which in theory should be quite a battle, but it's not even a fair fight. And it's pretty hysterical, actually, to watch.
There's no way that Snow White is going to recover.
Every single one of these reviews is just absolutely brutal. And what you also need to know is that these are not politically driven reviews. I mean, most of them are from the camp that should be supporting Disney, that should be behind this new progressive take on Snow White, and yet they can't, because the film is apparently just that bad.
Rachel Zegler is a loudmouth dope.
We're talking about ultra-far leftists, people who believe that men and women are a figment of your imagination, that your money is not your own, that your family is not your own, and that your country is not your own. That's what woke me.
Snow White, of course, famously played by the insufferable girl boss narcissist who's just clinical at this point.
Now, there is no doubt about it that Snow White 2025 is considered by far one of the worst box office failures, not just with Disney, but also in the entire film history when it comes down to live-action remakes.
He said Disney Snow White has a major identity crisis.
But it says, meanwhile, over in the kingdom of crumbling crowns, Disney Snow White dropped like an enchanted apple.
What they really mean is they're describing a worldview that hates you, that hates everything America stands for.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
Saying that audiences will always line up to see her no matter what she does.
Every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
You know what's interesting about all this is that the only person waiting in line to see Snow White was Rachel Zegler.
She doesn't need a prince to save her, and not surrounded by 7 weird people. Oh, okay, just CGI fictional goblins, I guess.
Well, we all basically knew that Snow White was going to be a massive failure at the box office because of Rachel Zegler's controversial statement.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business. Thanks.
You know, I don't need your business. You know what? Maybe Disney does. Maybe you're a tool, you're a pawn in this film. You didn't write it. You didn't direct it. You have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White.
Right.
You should shut up and do the job.
Chicken
Welcome back to Tea Time with Tina. Well, it looks like loudmouth Rachel Zegler had a total meltdown after seeing the opening numbers for the Minecraft movie and how it completely crushed Snow White at the box office. You won't believe how Disney basically lit a match to its own franchise and handed the win to a bunch of pixelated blocks. That's right, folks. While the House of Mouse scrambles to push its half-baked live-action Snow White, the new Minecraft film steamrolled its way through the box office, making Disney's latest disaster look like a low-budget YouTube parody.
And of course, this weekend, Minecraft came out, which has absolutely dominated the box office, done significantly better than analysts even projected. And now we're finding out that Snow White has officially crossed $160 million.
So, it got destroyed at the box office. Here's the box office numbers. The Minecraft movie made $60 million on Saturday. Snow White made $2 million.
Critics were convinced Minecraft would flop. They claimed it was too basic, too childish, or too blocky to make it big in mainstream theaters. But guess what? The movie skyrocketed to a jaw-dropping $300 million global opening, turning every so-called expert prediction into a total punchline. Meanwhile, Snow White limped its way to around $77 million over several weeks. Yep, you heard that right. Even with Disney's overstuffed marketing budget and non-stop hype, the film crashed and burned. We're talking, let's pretend this never happened levels of bad. And here's the kicker. Disney was betting everything on nostalgia to carry this film, completely ignoring all the red flags fans were waving. Turns out, disrespecting your own beloved fairy tale isn't exactly the best way to fill theater seats. But that's just the beginning. Stick around, because the next chapters in this disaster include boardroom panic, epic blame games, and a lead actress who seems to have forgotten she's playing one of the most legendary roles in movie history.
Turned over 157 million while earning another 144 million internationally. The Minecraft video game was introduced in 2011 and sold more than 300 million copies. So it actually has a fan base, user base, people that care about it. In theory, Snow White should as well. Snow White's the movie that made Disney, the studio. They should have been more cautious and careful with their own IP. It's $1 billion IP. The Disney Snow White, faithfully adapted, would have made $1 billion.
Now let's talk about Rachel Zegler, the entitled, loudmouthed newbie at the center of this wild mess. Somehow Disney thought it was a genius move to cast a newcomer who couldn't stop trashing the original Snow White. You know, the same Snow White that basically put Walt Disney on the map, launched an entire movie empire, and is still adored across the globe. And she thinks it's too old school? Nice move, Disney. You handed one of your most treasured roles to someone who treated the original like it belonged in the trash bin. According to a flood of fan complaints online, Zegler turned the whole movie from a storytelling experience into a full-blown lecture. In press interviews, she repeatedly slammed the original fairy tale for being outdated, making headlines for all the wrong reasons.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
As if audiences were begging for a 21st century lecture. Imagine being excited to see a faithful reimagining of Snow White, only to have the lead actress openly mock everything you ever cherished about it. Brilliant strategy, right? To be fair, Zegler isn't solely responsible for sinking the film, but her clueless, tone-deaf comments are definitely a big part of the problem. You'd think Disney might step in, rein her back, or at least offer some solid PR advice. Instead, they let her run wild, mouthing off about how the original Snow White needed to be fixed. Shocker, Disney fans aren't exactly thrilled about having their childhood classics corrected by a newcomer who clearly doesn't value the source material. The result? Silence from the crowd, and a whole lot of empty seats.
She's literally the only person there. And do you not understand how humiliating this is?
Disney's leadership stayed strangely silent, letting the chaos spiral like they had no clue why fans were so outraged. Once upon a time, Disney was the unstoppable giant of family entertainment. Now, it feels more like that out-of-touch relative who shows up to the party bragging about the good old days, then tries to force kale smoothies on guests who just want a piece of cake. Sure, a bit of modernization is fine, but let's be real. When Disney rewrites its classics so drastically that they're barely recognizable, it's pretty clear they've completely lost the plot.
You had the marketing material not being all that good. A lot of advertisements were really mediocre for this film. And to top it off, they made tons of changes and they strayed away from the source material, which upset a lot of fans.
According to insider leaks, this Snow White disaster was doomed from day one. Multiple script rewrites, each one more awkward than the last, kept loading the film with modern-day messaging. The team was so busy patting themselves on the back for being progressive, they completely forgot the one thing that actually makes a movie work: a compelling story that audiences can connect with. Instead of preserving the timeless magic of the fairy tale, they crammed in political themes. So obvious, they might as well have hung campaign posters in the background.
Whereas the Snow White model is the message ad infinitum, shoved directly up your ass, and, most importantly, in the most insufferable possible way, like screamed at you by an ugly woman for 2 hours.
It gets even worse, but before we dive back in, don't forget to like and subscribe because let's be real. Unlike Rachel Zegler, I know I'm nothing without your support. Now, back to the tea. According to reports from early screenings, the few fans who showed up said the film felt more like a dull lecture than a magical journey. So how did Disney react? By doubling down on the lectures. Now they're stuck with the fallout, a humiliating box office failure, and a very public PR nightmare. But hey, at least they can boast about their progressive vision, right? Meanwhile, as Disney kept shooting itself in the foot, the Minecraft movie was out there printing money like it had its own mint.
And so let's see how they fared against each other. The Minecraft movie breaks box office record with $300 million global opening, while woke Snow White slips again. Minecraft movie was a big winner debut weekend, 300 million?
Critics rolled their eyes, dismissing it as just another video game adaptation. What they failed to see is that Minecraft has a fan base that spans generations. Kids playing on tablets, teens streaming their builds on YouTube, and adults who've been crafting blocky worlds since the game's early days. Who knew? Giving audiences a fun, drama-free adventure without a political agenda is actually a winning formula.
Encouraging to see a movie that decided to do the opposite of Snow White, which is, according to all available reviews, including from the people that I trust the very most on this platform, it is non-political. The Minecraft movie does not try to beat you and box you about the ears with the message. It is just silly fun for kids, which is what a kids movie should be.
The theaters were packed. Some showings were so loud, it felt like a full-on rock concert. No joke. Things got so wild that cops actually had to escort a few overhyped kids out for freaking out and having way too much fun.
Okay, Stitch.
And the cops had to escort the rowdy teenagers out. The Minecraft movie is doing something magical. It's creating a live audience reaction event where people are going to just be part of something to interact with the movie itself. The kind of thing that really creates like a kinetic movement.
And guess who's leading the charge in voice acting? Jack Black. Sure, the guy's had his share of controversial moments, but when it comes to bringing that comedic energy, he knows exactly how to fill seats. Audiences instantly fell in love with the film's playful tone, praising it for staying true to the heart of the game, something Disney probably should have done with Snow White. But here's the best part. Critics gave it a measly 40% on review aggregator sites, while regular viewers were all in, scoring it an impressive 87%.
You can see here the Minecraft movie is 48% on Rotten Tomatoes, 87% audience score. That's kind of all that matters because these people pay the bills, these people don't.
Who's out of touch now? This is exactly what happens when studio bigwigs stop focusing on moral grandstanding and actually let their creators tell entertaining stories. Critics can complain all they want, but the paying audience has spoken, and their wallets are louder than any self-righteous film review. It's 2025, and apparently Hollywood is just now realizing that preachy politics don't fill theater seats. Look, audiences aren't allergic to social commentary. They just want it served with a bit of subtlety, not hammered in like a wrecking ball. Yet for some reason, major studios keep churning out these moral of the week flicks, then act shocked. When ticket sales crash, Snow White is just the latest casualty. Instead of trusting the timeless fairy tale formula, Disney decided to fix it. The irony, the original story already had plenty of bravery, friendship, and all those good things. But no, the suits thought it needed to be updated to please the Twitter crowd, a gamble that backfired big time. Now they're stuck with a multi-million-dollar lecture that fans can't stand.
This movie exists, by the way. You can't tell me Minecraft is the worst movie of 2025 when Snow White exists. That's right. Minecraft movies are going to make more in the weekend than Snow White's made in its entire theatrical run, and we know why.
On the flip side, Minecraft thrived because it didn't preach. It respected its audience by delivering pure escapist fun. Want to watch pixelated zombies chasing your favorite blocky hero? You got it. Craving an uplifting adventure for the whole family? Done. No wonder it's raking in the big bucks. So, what's the moral of the story? Shoving woke ideas down viewers' throats doesn't exactly pay off.
Teens in suits, shouting lines, cheering, like it was a concert. Check out the energy. Unreal. Disney Snow White is flopping hard. Why did Minecraft win? Because they stayed true to their actual audience. If Disney had made a faithful adaptation to the original Snow White, it would have made $1 billion.
Now let's circle back to the headliner of this disaster, Rachel Zegler, who's quickly becoming the poster child for how not to sell a movie. Is that fair? Maybe not entirely. After all, she's not the one writing the scripts or making executive decisions. But man, does she make for a convenient scapegoat. And her big mouth was the perfect cherry on top for Disney to let her take all the heat.
The reason why is partially because of Rachel Zegler, but also because of the entire garbage movie itself. We keep blaming Rachel Zegler, and she's an easy scapegoat. And I think they're scapegoating her on purpose. But the entire movie was trash. All of Rachel Zegler didn't write Snow White. Rachel Zegler didn't cast Snow White. The studio did. It's a Disney problem. Disney did these things.
Insiders are whispering about tense boardroom showdowns at Disney HQ, where execs are pointing fingers at each other. Some are furious that Zegler's pre-release interviews basically torched any remaining goodwill from fans. Others argue that management should have reined in her media appearances after the first few PR disasters. Either way, it's become a blame game of epic proportions, and Zegler is still doubling down on the modernization angle. She's preaching to an audience that's clearly not buying it. And let's not forget the casting controversy. A Colombian American actress playing a character famously described as having skin white as snow. Disney defended the choice as being about inclusivity, but traditionalists saw it as a direct insult to the original lore. Whether you agree or not, the studio managed to create an endless debate that overshadowed anything else the film might have done right. For a company that prides itself on tight brand control, this was a rookie-level publicity disaster. It'd be easy to brush off Snow White as a one-time flop, but fans see a pattern. Disney is losing its edge. The box office numbers don't lie. It's been a string of underperforming or outright disastrous live-action remakes, some weighed down by controversies, others just too bland to matter. What sets this one apart is that they took a sacred classic, slapped on a forced ideological agenda, and let an unseasoned star run the press circuit. To make matters worse, an unnamed Hollywood insider claims major infighting is going on behind the scenes. Certain execs are furious with the marketing team for not shifting gears when early reactions to the casting emerged. Others are pointing fingers at the scriptwriters, accusing them of ignoring test audience feedback. In the middle of all this mess is Disney's once golden brand, now tarnished by decisions that make them look, well, foolish. It's almost comical, an entertainment giant undone by its own arrogance. Snow White was supposed to be a safe bet, but they pushed too hard with the moralizing, and it blew up in their faces. So here we are, folks. A pixel art game that started as a humble indie project has now crushed Disney's big-budget fairy tale remake. You can't make this stuff up. The message from viewers is clear. They want to have fun at the movies, not sit through a sermon. Minecraft nailed it, with negative reviews only sparking more curiosity from the public. Meanwhile, Disney's licking its wounds, trying to figure out how it messed up something as simple as Snow White. In the aftermath, the big question is, where does Disney go from here? Are they going to keep rewriting classic stories into shallow, public service announcements, or will they finally learn the lesson audiences have been shouting from the rooftops, respect the source material, and stop talking down to the people who buy the tickets? As for Rachel Zegler, who knows what her next move will be? She could bounce back with a more fitting role in a film that doesn't treat its heritage like a dusty relic, or she might continue playing the villain in this drama, insisting she's the misunderstood hero. But after this fiasco, fans have made it clear they're not interested in condescending lectures, no matter how modern they're made to sound. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your take on this wild topic. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to stay ahead of the Hollywood meltdown. We'll keep uncovering the bombshells the mainstream media tiptoes around, because if this Snow White vs. Minecraft showdown proves anything, it's that woke is officially broke at the box office. Until next time, stay tuned, stay safe, and stay informed. Only on Tea Time with Tina.